I'm Andrew Stephen, Professor of Marketing at the University of Oxford. Okay, so social media has been around a while. So, social media isn't a new thing, but that doesn't mean that brands haven't, got challenges because all the platforms keep on changing. So the rules keep on changing, the goalposts keep moving. I think at the moment, the challenges brands are facing, or sort of the questions that they have around social media marketing, fall into maybe two camps. One being around sort of the advertising aspect. So how does social media work as another media channel, a paid media channel? And then sort of related, but I think important enough to be separate to that, is around just broadly content and how do we engage our audience as customers and potential customers probably through social. So what we are finding in some research that we're doing at Oxford and some with some colleagues also here in the United States is that to work well in a social environment. So think about a social environment on Facebook, for example, or Instagram. Basically, we're talking about a news feed. People are typically on a mobile device thumbing through, and you want them to stop and look at something, whether it's an ad or a piece of branded content. So it's not a display ad, but it's a video from a brand, for example, or an influencer associated with the brand. They want people to stop and have some kind of impact, whether that's brand lift in terms of raising awareness or favorability, or maybe actually a conversion or getting people to share it or whatever it might be. What we're finding in our research, and so one example of some research we've done really, really recently with Facebook themselves and Kantar Millward Brown, who does a lot of measurement of advertising campaigns on Facebook, is that brands that themselves are positioning themselves and carrying themselves in a more human manner with their Facebook and Instagram content tend to perform better with their advertising on Facebook and Instagram, particularly in terms of generating a positive lift in terms of brand awareness and sort of those upper funnel brand health type metrics. And so what we did is we studied hundreds of campaigns that very large brands from around the world had run on Facebook and Instagram. And where there were studies done, experiments, so randomized experiments to test if the ad was effective on brand metrics. And in looking at that, what we learned was it wasn't that there were differences across category. So it didn't matter if it was, say, auto or personal care so much, or it didn't matter geography. So we looked at this from around the world, but it didn't matter if it was the US or Germany or the UK or parts of Asia. What mattered was brands that we determine as acting more social and more human. So we used some machine learning technology to ascertain that by looking at what brands said about themselves and the language that they use. But brands that were more normal and human and social performed better on average with these ads in these channels. And so it speaks to the broader point about content in social, which is if your content doesn't fit the channel, meaning it's a social channel, your posts or your ads are interspersed with people's pictures of their pets and their weddings and their kids doing funny things and whatever else. If you're not fitting into that sort of real life social, really inherently social newsfeed theme, then your ads are not going to have an impact, a positive impact. In fact, they might have a negative impact. But certainly you're going to be wasting money on those ads because people aren't going to be liking them or having awareness lifted or something like that. So fitting the channel is absolutely important. It's not that you want to be different to the channel so you get noticed. You actually want to fit in, and therefore being more human and more social in the advertising is actually what pays off, and is, I think, a really important best practice at the moment for brands in social.